We have Dru DeShields popping on, and this is going to start a whirlwind of guests on Running Point, but we're going to pop him up. Dru, thank you so much for taking the time to
Yep.
join us today and be on Running Point.
Anytime.
Drew, my first question for you. Week one against Campfield, coming into the
Mhm.
season, guys a little bit younger. A lot of people kind of doubted you coming into this year, but it's a
Yeah.
one possession game at the end. You had a chance to win it, but just fell a little bit short. For you and your team, how big was that to know that, hey, we could hang with some of the bigger dogs in this valley and come up and compete with the best teams in this Mahoning Valley?
Yeah. I felt like it gave us a lot of confidence. We had a chance to win the game, and I mean, we're really young. We just like special teams was a big part of that killed us. And I felt like we just came in the next week and worked on our special teams more and knew that we could hang with one of the better teams in the area.
Dru, obviously, with a team that has expectations like you guys do, there are no moral victories. We know that you wanted to win that game, and it was disappointment that you didn't. That being said, what did this program take away from that game? What kind of momentum were they still able to kind of gather from it, knowing, like Richie said, that you did really go toe to toe with one of the area's best?
I felt like that was a great experience for our young guys because that's like a playoff atmosphere, a playoff game. That's what it felt like. Because a lot of those young guys didn't play in those games last year. Like we have three new receivers this year. Mike played defense, but he didn't play offense. Joey Jackson, Perry didn't play in those games. They were watching. They weren't in it. It was just a huge experience with like playoff atmosphere when that stuff comes around.
Drew, since you were a kid, you've been watching this West Branch program, of course, with your brother and TJ, who's a star quarterback back in the day for the Warriors. Talk about what you kind of learned from him and what you implement on Friday nights due to him.
I really admire him. When he was at West Branch, I was always on the sideline as a water boy. Always wanted to give him the water, and I he helps me a lot with like he's really smart. He's a student of the game. He knows what he's talking about and knows what he's doing. So I feel like that's a big thing that he helps me with.
You said it earlier. There are a lot of new receivers on this team that are in new positions. You've had to kind of build your relationship with them and build chemistry with them in the offseason. What's that been like as a quarterback who last year you came in, you had receivers that kind of knew what the deal was, you knew what was going on. Now you have to kind of build the chemistry up, build the relationship, and kind of build the in syncness with these
Mhm.
receivers.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of it was already there from last year. We were all really close. The whole team was really close, and like throughout practice, I threw to those guys a little bit. Joey Jackson was on the freshman team. He wasn't up with us, but I was watching him perform at the freshman level. He's a really good athlete. Perry, same thing. And Mike still got reps at Y last year a little bit. Christian is returning. I threw to him a lot, and I feel like the chemistry is building more and more every day. But I feel like we still got a little bit to go, but I feel like we'll get there.
Yeah, now that chemistry builds because you've been the quarterback since your sophomore season when you filled in for Brock that one game against Carrollton. Going back to that moment in time, how much do you think that's kind of helped you now that you've had 2 years under your belt as a starting quarterback?
Um, I felt like that game helped me a lot. I was a little nervous before the game and everything, and my brother just told me to go out and be you, and I was just me. I feel like, and I felt like that gave me a little experience moving into the next year.
Richie talked about, learning from your brothers. What about learning from Brock your first two seasons? I mean, I think a lot of people thought, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the area when he was doing his thing,
Mhm.
especially his senior year. And, you kind of were able to step in his shoes. What was it like to be able to have those 2 years with him and learn everything that you did from him as a starting quarterback?
I felt like that was great. He's a really good leader. I feel like I learned some of my leadership skills from him. He knew how to like take over the huddle and everything, and he was really good at that.
Drew, for you, a big commit before your senior season going to Eastern Illinois.
Mhm.
Bring us through that process a little bit. Did you get the opportunity to travel to Eastern Illinois and visit their campus, or was all of it kind of remote?
No, I ended up going there last month, the end of July. Yeah, the end of July, I went up there, took a visit, and then committed on spot there.
When you commit on the spot, there had to be something that was like, blowing you away or something that really tipped that decision into the scales of that place. So what was it that made that decision so easy that you did it on the spot like that?
I feel like the new coaching staff, I really got along with them, and the quarterback tradition at Eastern Illinois is really strong with Tony Romo and Jimmy Garoppolo, and their coaches Sean Payton and Shanahan. Those guys just jumped out on the page to me with their tradition, and then the coaching staff's just really good. Joe Davis, the offense coordinator, we really connected.
And now you're committed, a lot of weight is kind of lifted off of your shoulders. How much does that help you, knowing that you already have a place to play before you start your senior season? You could kind of go out there and you could be yourself this year, and you don't have to prove anything to anybody.
I felt like that really helped me a lot. Took a little bit of pressure off of it. Now I don't have to worry about finding a place or anything like that, so I can just go out and play and have fun my senior year.
And as we stay on the topic of pressure, coming into last year, I think a lot of people on the outside didn't know what to expect from you. You were taking over the starting role. This year, after the success of last season, everyone's like, "Oh, Dru DeShields, he's our top quarterback spot. He's listed among one of the best quarterbacks in the area." Is there a little bit more pressure to the success, and how have you had to deal with that?
A little bit. I feel like it's not like huge, but I feel like I'm just going out and playing right now. I mean, there's not that much pressure as of right now.
Yeah, you could kind of tell with the way you played in the first 2 weeks against Canfield, scored every point, and then coming out against Woodridge, a big bounce back victory, winning 43-13. So kind of talk about that game last Friday night against Woodridge, and how big that was for your squad to bounce back after that heartbreaking loss at home.
It was good to get a win, but we still got stuff to work on. We started off a little bit slow. I mean, we had a couple of 3-and-outs, which wasn't very good, but ended up getting the victory, and we just need to learn from that for next week.
I think what every fan is dying to know, from last year, we learned about the DeShields Family Fantasy Football League, but we never really got an update on the end of that. So, who won last season? Who was the champion of the DeShields Family Fantasy League?
It was Kip, my brother. He ended up winning it. He had Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes because we ran 2 quarterbacks, so he won it. He easily won it. He had Joe Mixon. He had Jamar Chase. His team was stacked. Mike Williams.
Are we doing it again this year?
Yeah, we already drafted. My team's
Who you
looking
got?
good.
Who's on your fantasy team?
I got Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Derrick Henry, Jalen Waddle, Allen Robinson, Darren Waller, Trey Lance, and we're looking pretty good right now. We added 2 more people, so it's a little bit thinner.
So we
went from 10 to 12. I know. I had the last pick, got Derrick Henry and Joe Mixon.
Wow. And with your family tree, they're all in the building at one point during school.
Yeah.
What's that like? I mean, not many kids have their parents in the school building with them. So, I mean, when you're walking through the hallways, you got to be a little more careful of what you're saying. And those guys.
I feel like it's kind of fun sometimes. I mean, you just get, like, if you need lunch money, you just go down to your mom and ask for lunch money, But it's not that bad. People think it might be bad, but it's not. It's kind of fun.
How many times have you really had to go and ask for lunch money? Because I feel like that'd be an awkward situation.
No, I just go negative, and then the lunch lady just tell my mom. That's what happens.
Oh God! So you got to learn from your older brother and TJ, who played football, but Kip as well, the oldest, played football for the Warriors, and he was more of a standout in the baseball diamond. He played at Youngstown State. What are some things you took away from him as well?
I took away from him. He went junior college farther away, and then came back to YSU. He kind of he went Division I, and TJ went Division I for a little bit. Those guys have just stepped me through what happens in the Division I level a little bit. That's helped me a lot. I feel like, because it's when you get up there, you put in a lot of time.
Coming into your senior year of school, what were some personal goals that you kind of wanted to accomplish before you left West Branch, not just in football, but in all your athletics and even in your schooling?
I feel like first one is school. I want to get all A's. I mean, I'm at a 3.9 GPA throughout my high school career right now, so I just want to finish that strong. And then on the court and field, I feel like I want to win the league, at least sweep it all the way through.
And now
that's a good one.
You play football at Eastern Illinois, but you also got to study. What are you planning to study at Eastern Illinois?
I don't know yet. Maybe a business or something like that, or sports management. I want to be a GA when I graduate, probably. I want to get into college coaching.
Nice.
We have some love from Kuliana's family saying, Great job. And in the comments,
you.
you got a lot of fans.
Thank
What's
you.
it like getting all the support from the West Branch community and I think football fans around the area, even if they're outside of the West Branch community, got to be showing you love.
It's great. I feel like just seeing that is like a great thing. I mean, first I was walking after Woodridge. I was walking out, and some little kid gave me his cowbell and had me sign it. I feel like that was really humbling. I was like wow, like people look up to me like that. I was like,
Get
okay,
used to it, man. I think you're going to be signing a lot of autographs
Yeah.
in your
hopefully,
career.
hopefully.
You talk about sweeping the league and getting through the league and winning it. You got to go through Salem at one point in the final game of the season. It's at home. It's on your turf. One of the biggest rivalries for you. How awesome is that going to be? Walking out of that tunnel for the last time on your home field, taking on the rival in Salem, hopefully to win the division in your conference.
That'll be great. We're not on turf or on grass. It's on our grass.
On the grass.
Yeah, I know, a little weird. We don't have turf yet, but that's gonna be great. It's gonna be senior night, great atmosphere. There might not even be a seat left in the stands, so everyone's gonna be standing around. It's gonna be a Saturday. It's gonna be really good, but hopefully not the last time I'll play there. Hopefully we get a playoff home game.
All right, Dru, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and giving us kind of an insight into what you're going on your senior year. We love watching you. We love covering you. Good luck all senior season, and we wish you the best of luck in everything. And we'll talk to you again real soon.
Yep. Thank you for having me.